It is your boy T with another Have You Seen That with T movie review, and today I am reviewing Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. So this movie came up on my radar about 2 months ago. I saw the preview for it and I was very intrigued. Just it's about a U.S. Army sergeant who, along with his interpreter, gets attacked. His team gets killed, but his interpreter, Ahmed, drags him to safety. And when I say drags him to safety, they went over 100 kilometers from where they were attacked to, getting him back to his base in Bagram in Afghanistan. And while this movie isn't based on a true story, it hit home a lot, especially someone who served, someone who's been over in the Middle East in that area and serve with interpreters. They definitely bring a lot of value to each unit, being able to interpret, being able to understand the people they're talking to and not just translating, which Ahmed says, some part in the movie where he says he's not a translator, he's an interpreter. Because there is a very subtle, not even a so subtle difference on what an interpreter does and what a translator does. But Ahmed was part of, Jake Gyllenhaal's team as their interpreter, and the team gets attacked. Everyone gets killed with the exception of Jake Gyllenhaal, whose character, like I said, he gets dragged over 120 kilometers, which if you have to walk 120 kilometers, that's a task in itself. When you actually have to drag someone who's been wounded in action, Jake Gyllenhaal had no use of his motor functions. He was pretty much out the entire dragging. And Ahmed makes it back. He uses his wits. And there's a lot of backstory to Ahmed's story as the interpreter, why he's doing what he's doing. And he brings a lot of added value to the team. And then once Jake Gyllenhaal, his character Sergeant John Kinley, is actually rescued, he gets back to the States and find out Ahmed is still stuck in Afghanistan, of course, wanted by the Taliban for helping out the quote unquote infidel. And the Sergeant John Kinley, those two become kind of a folk hero, folk heroes, of course, to the people against the Taliban, but they pop up on the top 10 most wanted list of the Taliban. And Ahmed is kind of weaving his way through Afghanistan, trying to keep him and his family safe. Those interpreters were promised visas, of course, that doesn't come through immediately, after he saves this sergeant's life. And the story goes, Jake Gyllenhaal goes back into Afghanistan to get Ahmed and his family out. And it's just a really good, great told story. Guy Ritchie really goes deep into the brotherhood of just being a teammate, I guess, not just an interpreter and an American, but just being teammates, not wanting to fail your team, just being part of a squad. And it really, really was well told. I thought the movie was excellently done. Once Jake Gyllenhaal gets back to America, there's a lot of survivor's guilt. There's a lot of survivor's remorse because he was pulled out, but you have a person who saved your life, and uh, he has this moment where he's talking to one of his superior officers and talking about that code, with saving someone's life and a debt that you have to pay. I think that might have been a little bit overdone. It kind of was a little overkill with, how they portrayed him almost as being like the victim and being in debt of Ahmed because he saved his life. But I can see how a person would feel that way, especially when they feel helpless, like they can't help the other person. And this story really dives deep into that, how it affects his family, how it affects his marriage once he's back into the States. And he does, eventually go back into Afghanistan and attempt to, save Ahmed and his family, his wife and his newborn baby. And just just how the story is told, how the action is portrayed, I thought it was just fantastic. Every actor in this movie was fantastic to me. There was even a Homelander sighting, which I did not, even know that Anthony Starr was in this movie until I read the cast list and I saw he played, a specific character in the movie. But it was just fantastic just seeing everyone. Jake Gyllenhaal gave an amazing performance. That this is one of my top three best movies of 2023 so far. I thought The Covenant was just excellent. Well told story. You should definitely see it this weekend if you're in the market to watch a good, realistic, gritty military movie, good, realistic action movie. Um, it just seems as if this story is very plausible. It's not based on a true story. It's not based on any actual events, but it's just a well-told story about just how one valuable interpreters are, but two just the bond you form when a person gets part of your team, and how that can just affect not just you but them. And there's always second, third orders of effects. So definitely go check out The Covenant this weekend. It is for sure worth your time. Like I said, one of the top three movies I've seen so far in the year of 2023. Um, Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. I can't gush over it about it enough. Definitely worth your time. So definitely go check out Guy Ritchie's The Covenant this weekend. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next movie review.